Hello, my name is Mario Palamidiotis. I'm the Clinical Imaging Specialist for Bracco Canada. Thank you for taking some time to be better informed about the CT Express, the first syringeless CT injector on the market. After this information demo, I think you'll find that this injector actually has a lot of unique features, both improving safety and workflow for the technologists. A little bit of history about the injector. We have over 200 injectors installed already in Europe. It hit the Canadian market in late November of 2012 with an outstanding success. But because it is a bit of a different approach to administering contrast, we thought we would show you in person how the injector works. If you notice, there's 3 reservoirs on the injector, 2 for contrast and 1 for saline. So you can use the same contrast and just deplete one bottle and start immediately on the next. Even during an injection, it will do that. Or you can use the 2 different types of contrast and follow up with saline flushes. A little bit about the disposables before we begin. We have 3 sets of disposables. This is the day set, and this is the tubing that draws from each reservoir and the saline. Now this tubing set is Health Canada approved for 12 hours. So once you set it up, like you see it here, then you can keep working continuously for 12 hours before you change your day set. Or if you inject 4,000 milliliters of contrast. The second disposable is called a spike, and this fits on to the top of the contrast bottle, so then we can put the contrast into its holder. This is a single-use item. Each bottle has its own spike, but if you have 500 cc's, you only need 1 spike. The injector accepts a variety of different formats of contrast, anywhere from 50 to 500. And the third disposable set is called the patient set. This is the bit that actually touches the patient. It's attached to the catheter or needle you're injecting from. This is also a single-use item. Now, one note about this, there's a little wheel here on the patient set, and it only rotates in the forward direction, so there's no chance for backflow or cross-contamination. Additionally, we have, at any given point, the tubing is clamped in 3 different locations, so it also acts like a physical barrier to prevent backflow. So, we'll get to the safety features in a second. With regards to workflow, this system will really reduce the amount of time you spend in between patients. You literally need about 15 seconds to turn around the injector and prepare for a new patient. So we're going to do a little mock injection, and we're going to place the patient set into the injector. Everything is automated right away. It's going to ask you whether you want to fill the line with contrast or saline. Most of the time we'll be filling it with saline because we may want to do a test injection. The second prompt is to make sure that you're not connected to the patient at this point. It's a safety feature. And there you go. It's going to do an auto prime. A few seconds later, you're ready to inject. It's as easy as that. Now let's do that again. In the event that we were going to finish with one patient and exchange the patient set for another, we simply tell the injector that we're done our injection, take out the used patient set, and every time you use the patient set, the system already knows what's been used. You cannot re-enter this one, another safety feature. We would take a new set straight out of the package, put it in its place, tell the injector we're filling it with saline, acknowledge the fact that we're not hooked up to a patient, and a few seconds later, we're ready to go. Amazing. So the injector has the ability to also gauge what kind of pressures you need for each contrast, each concentration of contrast, and whether it's cold or warm. It also asks you what type of needle or catheter are you using in your patient, which is another safety feature. So if you exceed the specifications of a 22 gauge, the system will give you a warning, for example. So in this particular case, I'm going to use an 18 gauge needle.
Your choice of possible examinations.
It talks to you, it gives you voice commands as well as visual cues. The next step is to select the protocols. So all the protocols are neatly stored in anatomical folders. There's 100 stored protocols that you can have. So if we go to our chest folder, we'll have all our chest protocols listed there. We can do test injections with just pure saline, and the system will automatically choose the highest flow rate used for your actual diagnostic protocol. Okay? Once we're ready for the injection, you can initiate the injection from the pendant switch or from the monitor. It will give you a live PSI graph and a numeric value, both of them at the same time. So the safety features include, for the first time, a air column detector on all 3 reservoirs, where even if a small microbubble gets into the tubing, it will notify the operator immediately. This we've never seen in CT before. We also talked about the cross-contamination preventions, which include the physical barriers and the unidirectional flow of fluids, the gauge needle. It also has an occlusion detection rate, which means in the event of any kind of occlusion, the system will notice the elevated PSI and act accordingly to either terminate the injection if it's a quick approach, or try to back off a little bit on the flow rate to get through the injection. So I hope you found this demo interesting. We are available to answer any questions you may have, and have a nice day.